Hi, I'm Kevin Knaus with InsureMeKevin.com. If you haven't heard already, the American Rescue Plan, passed and signed in March of 2021, will have profound changes to the Affordable Care Act health insurance subsidies that covered California dispenses. Specifically, they have lowered the household contribution or fair share percentage, which means subsidies will go up, and that's going to help out a lot of people. But there's a lot of things that Covered California is doing behind the scenes to get ready to roll this out in April, so everything can pretty much start on May 1st. First, let's look at these household contribution percentages. Now, the way the Affordable Care Act works is at different income levels compared to the federal poverty level, which is a standard that the US government issues every year. They then calculate how much a household should spend on their health insurance. The benchmark plan is the second lowest cost silver plan. So on this particular chart here that you're looking at, you can see that the household contribution has been lowered, that blue line there. So many people will be getting a much larger subsidy, especially if they're below 150% of the federal poverty line. As you can see, it is much more generous in terms of subsidies or a lower household contribution as you go up compared to the older kind of ochre or yellow line that was the original Affordable Care Act. The blue kind of line, the state subsidy, was the California Premium Assistance Subsidy. And of course, that's kind of being phased out because the new subsidies from the American Rescue Plan are so much more generous. As you can see, the curve or the household contribution goes up as the income goes up. Now, the federal subsidies used to stop at 400% of the federal poverty level for the household size, but that will now continue. So that's good news for a lot of different people, and California will be implementing that beginning May 1st in everyone's accounts. Now, this particular chart here shows in a different form. This table shows that for incomes between 138 and 150% of the federal poverty level, that the American Rescue Plan household contribution is zero. So what that means is that on the second lowest cost silver plan, no one should have to pay for that. So the subsidy will be equal to the second lowest cost silver plan. So there's no out-of-pocket monthly premium costs for those folks. Then it goes up to 2%, and then you can see it ramps up to 8.5% and beyond. And of course, those are more generous than the California state subsidy. So again, what this means is that if an individual or a household is at 150% of the federal poverty line or lower, they're going to be getting a much larger subsidy. If the second lowest cost silver plan in your particular region is $300 per month, the subsidy will be $300 per month. So that means if you're in a bronze plan now, you're going to get a larger subsidy, and you can go up to that better silver plan. Actually, at 150%, you're going to be getting an enhanced silver plan at Covered California with lower deductibles, co-pays, and co-insurance. So if you're in a bronze plan, you seriously need to looking at upgrading, and you will be able to start doing that in April through Covered California. People coming into Covered California, because there's going to be a special enrollment period, can also do that for a May 1 start date. Now, something that's really, really important is the American Rescue Plan has done away with that 400% cliff. So if you went into Covered California and estimated your income at 350% of the federal poverty level, but then your final modified adjusted gross income was 450%, you had to repay all of the subsidies you received during the year. Well, that has gone away, at least for 2021 and 2022. It's now going to be feathered out in a sense. So the subsidy is going to be based on the cost of the second lowest cost silver plan compared to your income. So as you can see, as the income goes up, obviously the subsidy goes down because the second lowest cost silver plan becomes a smaller percentage. If the second lowest cost silver plan is 10% of the income, then the subsidy will equal the difference between that 10% and 8.5% to bring it down to the household contribution. And in this particular example, 2 adults ages 55 in Los Angeles with a second lowest cost silver plan of $14,743, they continue to get a subsidy out to about $174,000 for the household income. Now, 950% is about $163,000. So you can see that the income, the subsidies are going to a much higher level. Now, it will all depend on what that second lowest cost silver plan is. If you're in Northern California, you can make more money and still get a subsidy because the health insurance rates are higher in Northern California. Another provision of the American Rescue Plan is if the taxpayer or the spouse of the taxpayer is eligible for, and I guess collects, unemployment insurance for 1 week in 2021, and that's reported to Covered California, they will take the estimated income down to 138.1% of the federal poverty level, and then advance those subsidies based on that number. Now, in California, we have expanded Medi-Cal. Anyone with an income, adult, that has an income under 138% of the federal poverty level automatically goes into Medi-Cal. But you can see this is 138.1%, so you're not going into Medi-Cal, but you get an enhanced silver plan and you get larger subsidies for the remainder of the year. One other significant fact that's happening in the American Rescue Plan is people who owed excess premium tax credit in 2020. Remember the example where someone estimated that their income at 350%, and then they actually had a modified adjusted gross income of 450%. They had to pay back all those premium tax credits. Well, that's been suspended for 2020. Now, the IRS is still working through all of this, and you can see from the screenshot of this IRS webpage that they're still working on it, but they're telling people do not file an amended return to get that money back. They're going to be issuing guidance. But that's going to be very helpful for many, many people. So to kind of recap on what's going on at Covered California, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes, the American Rescue Plan only modifies the Affordable Care Act through 2022. So we know we're good for 2021 and 2022. Hopefully, maybe something else is going to change and this will be extended. Covered California will be updating their website and the application. The Shop and Compare tool will be updated on April 12th with all the new information, because they have to load all this stuff in to do the calculations and whatnot. And it's kind of straightforward, but it is a formula, and they have to make sure that everything works. They have to test it. The third item, there will be a special enrollment period for Covered California beginning on April 12th for a May 1 start date. And that special enrollment period will go through the end of December of 2021. Covered California will really be pitching this, especially to people who have an off-exchange plan. Off-exchange plans are those health plans bought directly from the carrier: Blue Shield, Health Net, Kaiser, Chinese Community Health Plan, Valley Health Plan. If you have a health plan directly from one of those carriers, you're not going through Covered California, you're considered off exchange. With the special enrollment period, you'll be able to come on to Covered California and get the subsidies. Because maybe you went to the off exchange plan because you made too much money. You were over 400 or 600% of the federal poverty level, and there were no subsidies for you. And the silver plans are less expensive off exchange than they are on Covered California. However, if you're in a bronze plan and you're making, potentially 800% of the federal poverty level, as we saw in that one example, you may be eligible for subsidies to reduce the health insurance premium to no more than 8.5% based on the second lowest cost silver plan in your region. The unemployment insurance benefit trigger will be implemented in the Covered California system sometime this summer. As we've been alerted, this is a fairly complicated implementation, so it's just not going to happen right away, even though it's a provision of the American Rescue Plan. So there's a lot of stuff going on. If you have any questions, you can leave comments. You can contact me through my website. Covered California is going to be posting more information. So overall, this looks like to be a really, really good deal for Californians to reduce their health insurance premium costs and potentially buy up to a higher benefit plan like a silver plan from a bronze. So thank you so much for your time. Hopefully you're staying safe and enjoying our spring weather. For InsureMeKevin.com, I'm Kevin Canals.